We are in the Land Pavilion at Epcot, and we're gonna go on the Living with the Land boat ride presented by Chiquita. Only 5 minutes, which means basically a walk-on. This is the Seasons, which we ate at on the last trip. It's a nice little cafeteria, quick service. But we just had our pizza, so we are okay for a while in regards to food. All right, we are in the first row with Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas. Scott went back to the resort to drop off our shopping bags because we had too many to carry around, so he's going to meet up with us later. Meanwhile, we're going to go on a few rides, and we get the first row, so woohoo! We're number one. We're number one.
Recordatorio, no tomar fotos con flash y luz de video antes de llegar a Inglaterra. Welcome to a voyage of the richness and diversity, the often surprising nature of living with the land. Sudden changes are sweeping over the world. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning and a cycle of life. Surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements are combined with sunlight and create the diverse living systems of our planet. And other elements essential to our life. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun. The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, rainwater and nutrients gradually penetrated the hard surface of this land. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods.
wasps to control pests. In the farmlands across America, we're learning that by plowing under vegetation containing natural fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without the use of chemicals. In arid regions, we're learning to produce food on desert seacoasts by developing and planting crops that thrive on salt water. In Japan, we're learning that by mixing leaves and other living materials into our soil, we can make farmland more fertile without the need for chemicals. Here at Epcot, we're learning to reduce the need for
How will we
Right
meet
outside.
plants on the
So all the colors coming out now.
like papaya, bananas, and cacao, coffee,
So
and
this is our
rice?
second time on the ride because Scott missed it. So now it's dark outside, so all the lights are way more festive. We couldn't tell before because the sun was still out, but this is so much prettier.
Growing in less than ideal
Missed that one.
Some, like the water lily, thrive in wet, swampy areas and waterways. All parts of this plant, even the flower petals, are edible. The starchy root of the plant has long been used to make flour for baking. One day, many of these lesser-known tropical plants may be as important as the bananas grown on both sides of the boat.
It's a pretty Mickey.
More than 28 million tons of bananas are eaten annually, making it the most popular food in the world. Make up our everyday diet. The common grains growing here, maize, sorghum, and millet, plus rice, account for nearly 2/3 of our global food consumption. Learning how to increase yields of these staples is an important goal of research around the world.
There's Mickey Mouse.
These plants are definitely
Mickey
on
Mouse.
innovations like this can play an important role in our efforts to use powerful harness and still protect natural resources. When we mention farming, you probably don't think of fish, but fish farming or aquaculture accounts for nearly half of all the seafood consumed globally. Tilapia, bass, and catfish, like the ones you see here, are 3 of the more popular crops raised by fish farmers. The sustainable system we're using here recycles the water in the tanks. As a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year. Our small fish farm produces nearly 5,000 pounds of fish each year to serve in restaurants around Walt Disney World. Innovations like this one play an important role in our efforts to produce novel harvests and still protect natural resources. These plants are definitely on their way up. Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields while more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer, and pesticides. Another innovation at work here is our integrated pest management program. By populating our greenhouses with beneficial insects that prey on harmful pests like aphids and flies, we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional pesticides. We're growing these crops using our nutrient film system. This technique precisely controls and recycles water and nutrients. With it, we can produce over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year in this one small area. Some of our best ideas have been inspired by nature, like these fruit and vegetable trees. By growing these ground plants vertically, we can increase yields and better control diseases. These crops taste as good as they look. In fact, we serve more than 15 tons of produce from our greenhouses in restaurants here at the land every year.
And the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to produce higher yielding and better quality plants.
The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. The aquaponics system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less.
These greenhouses represent just
In our
a
lab,
fraction of the work
Epcot scientists are working scientists, farmers, and even backyard gardeners.
This is the end to another awesome day at Disney. Thanks for joining Penny on the DL. See you on the next adventure.